this is what I start with. Frozen chicken, my Instapot, chicken broth, and onion salt. So first I'm going to put some chicken broth in, then I'll put the chicken on top and the salt. You can't see it too well, I don't think, but the water, I put a little bit extra water in there. So there's about maybe a quarter to half a cup of water, half a cup for this much chicken. This is 4 pounds of chicken. It's frozen. And then I put the seasoned salt all over it. Now, if I was making this specifically for tacos or something else, I would put the other seasoning on here, but because I'm making this kind of generic, I'm going to put it in lots of different dishes. I just went with the salt, this onion salt. It's onion and garlic and salt. So I'll put a little more on there. Okay. Oh, and I did the layers underneath too. So what I do now, plug it in. Once again, it is frozen chicken. Comes on, I put the lid on. And I want to make sure the valve is closed. Yours might look a little different, but it's closed. And that will go up. So I do it. Yours might be different. This is mine. Pressure cook. Because it is full, I'm going to go up to 10 minutes. And then I just leave it. And it'll take about 10 minutes to get up to pressure. And the way you know is that the pressure, so it started, that will close. And you'll know it's on pressure, and then it'll count down. And then I'll be back after it counts down. Okay, so it just finished its 10 minutes of cooking. It was about 20 minutes, 10 minutes to heat up, 10 minutes to cook. And so it tells you it's over. Now, if you leave it like this, it will continue to keep it warm. But because we have the chicken in there and we want it to cool off, I'm going to press stop so it turns it off. And then this is the pressure valve. Now, you could hit this and steam will come shooting out, and sometimes that's what you do to stop the cooking. But I like to let it naturally de-steam, or I can't remember what they call it, but to have that naturally fall, which means it waits until it's cool enough. And as it does that, it kind of finishes cooking the chicken and it doesn't dry it out as much. So that will take maybe another 10 minutes. But I had a lot of chicken in there, so it might take a while. So I'll be back after that falls down. You'll hear it, it'll go pink. So, but this is off. And it's warm to the touch. You can still feel it. Okay. I don't know why I keep saying it's going to be a bunch of okays in the middle of my thing. Anyway, the thing's off still, and the little, that has lowered. So that means there's no more steam, and you can open it up, because it won't let you open it if the pressure is still there. Move this up. And then I put a towel right here, because you're going to take it off. You can still hear it. And put that on the side there. And sometimes it does drip down. That's why I put that there. So here's all my chicken cooked. Yum! And I'm going to take it out and shred it. And then while I'm shredding it, I'm going to cook the vegetables. But I don't think you have to watch me take out chicken. So I'll see you at the next step. Just want to show you what was done. So I took all the chicken out. There it goes. And I have some liquid, and if you notice, oh, hold on. Let me get my little, forgot to tell you, you should get these. These are little silicone pads that you can use, and they're perfect for the Instapot. They're actually made by Instapot. So there are markings on it, and so I don't know if you can see that. I have about 3 cups of that is stock because I started with broth, so now I have chicken broth if I want it. I don't really need it for this recipe, so I'll probably just pour it off. At least some of it. I want to keep some of it so I can saute my vegetables. So the other thing you could have done with that stock that I had was make rice in it, pour off what you need or strain it if you wanted, and then put the rice in there and cook it in it. But I don't need any rice right now. I already have some. Sorry, my Keurig's making noise. Okay, so next step. So I left a little in there. I left that. It's fine. And I actually put a little bit more oil in. And then I'm going to saute. Oh man, I should have opened these. Magic. Okay. So that's gonna heat up. There's my mirepoix that I get at Trader Joe's, all cut. But if I'm not able to get there, or they don't have it, they do have some that's frozen, and that works just fine too. Or you can cut it yourself. I just personally don't. So all layers you season. Here's some more onion. So since this is going to be a spaghetti, I'm going to put more garlic and whatever you normally put in it. Now, if I was cooking turkey instead of chicken, first I would brown the turkey and not drain it, and then you can just cook the vegetables with the turkey after, you know, in the turkey meat. So this is unami mushroom. So that's good. And then I just let this cook. Wow. So it's on the saute mode. Let this cook while I'm going to shred that chicken. Forgot to mention that just to like keep stirring it. And sometimes if I feel like it's getting too brown before they've actually softened enough, I will put the lid on just to help them soften up more. I like a little bite in my vegetables, in my sauces, but some people don't. So if you don't put the lid on and then let them cook, you just want them to be, you know, let the onions be translucent and the carrots softened up, because they really won't soften or cook down in the sauce much, but slow. But the cool thing about the carrots and the celery is they will sweeten the sauce, so you don't have to add sugar. So my veggies are done, and I've been shredding chicken and putting it in here, even though I'm going to use it right now. But I made way more chicken than I would need today for this or tonight for dinner, so I'm going to freeze the rest. So I'm going to put the chicken in now, if I can, without burning my stuff. So that was 2 chicken breasts. And I can turn off the saute. I'm just going to let it get very crunchy. I like mine crunchy. Now, from this point, you could make chicken noodle soup, or I've seen people make like the pot pies, but I wanted a ragu thing, so I'm going to stir in. Now this is a shortcut. A very plain, it's just basil, tomatoes, onions, salt. Very, very plain. So I'm going to pour this in and then add some seasonings. You could also make chicken chili from just the mirepoix and the chicken, or I can't remember what else. You just add the beans and everything. Okay, time for the next step. These are the seasonings I put in. So unami, which is mushrooms. I've tried to put mushrooms in before, but I found that only canned mushrooms work because the other ones are too watery. If you saute them even beforehand, I find they still are too watery. Garlic powder, onion powder, and most people don't add it, but I like a little smoked paprika. And then I also do 2, even though I started with spaghetti sauce, I add 2, about maybe tablespoons, no, teaspoons, yeah, of 2 little swirlies of tomato paste. Just adds depth of flavor. And mine, because the chicken was a little more than I normally put in, I needed to thin it out a bit. So I just put about a 1/4 cup of chicken broth. It will get soupier, right? Because I'm actually going to now slow cook this. So it will get a little thinned out. So I don't want to put too much in at the beginning. But so I'm going to add my spices. I just do it to taste. I've made this a lot of times, so I know how much I like and what I like. Oh, and black pepper. So once you have the base, though, you can actually make quite a few things. I'm still doing the chicken. And I can show you after, when I'm done with that, how I freeze it, and then tonight I'm going to make it into barbecue chicken sandwiches. So here's the paprika. I just feel like it adds just a little bit of something that's not normally in there, and then some pepper. And I'm going to set, I will stir this, just can't do it with one hand. I'm going to set it to slow cook, and I actually want to do this for 3 hours on low. I don't do it on high or medium because it's tomato, and sometimes if you do that, the tomato products can scorch. So I find it's better if you have the time to do it low and slow. If you do need to do the medium or high, just watch it and make sure you have enough. See, mine's very chunky, but it will all come together. And if I find, I'll check it about an hour and a half. I know you're not supposed to open slow cooker, but at about halfway through, I will check it again just to make sure that it's got enough water in it, or enough juices. It looks like it will. And to stir it again, and if I need to add a little bit more chicken broth, then I will. So I'll see you in 3 hours. P.S. I did put the lid on. Just after I stirred everything up, I put the lid on. Now, it is closed, but, and that's for slow cooking, but the little pin won't go up right now because it's not under pressure. From those 4 pounds of chicken, about 4 pounds, so I got the chicken in there that's cooking in my spaghetti sauce. I have this full plate, that's a dinner plate, that's pretty big, and then I have this that I'm going to put barbecue sauce on right now and marinate it for a couple hours, and then I'll warm it up again and have it on rolls. It also makes really great if you wanted to put this in a skillet with taco seasoning and some water, heat it through with the taco seasoning, makes great tacos, makes great nachos. The other thing I want to tell you is that when you're you know, obviously you can put Italian spices in and not use the spices I use. I can't really have oregano or basil, a lot of it, so I don't put it in my sauce. But another great switch for the chicken besides turkey is Italian sausage. That is delicious. So not bad for about a half hour having all this chicken from frozen. It has an hour left, a little more than an hour, but I'm gonna see how it looks. Oh, looking so good. It smells wonderful. Wish this had smell-o-vision. I like to stir it, and then I also add a little bit more spice because they tend to dissipate over time. So now I like it like this. If you wanted it wetter, you could put more chicken stock in, or at the beginning put 2 cans of sauce in. or even a, with the sauce, you could put in a can of tomatoes, and that would be really good too. But I prefer mine like this. I don't know that I'll eat it with noodles. Sometimes I just eat it, like I said, with bread. So I'm just putting a little bit more of my spices. So I didn't put the full amount at the beginning so I could add some right now. Just like I said, I like to add a little towards the end. So I put my umami, and then some more onion and garlic. So almost done. 1 hour. So it was done, and this is the finished product. Does it look good? I already tasted it, so it has enough seasonings. And then what I do is I put it into containers for the week, and then or I will freeze it. Let me show you. I froze some of the, sorry about that, the chicken, the plain chicken. And so I just put it on this tiny sheet, and then I freeze it flat, and then I've already written what it is. And I do it in a single layer of the chicken. So here's the rest of mine. So I'm just stack them up. And the reason I do the chicken like that is so that it's easy to break off, and you can just put it into things like, you know, top ramen, or if you just want to break off a little and make a sandwich, or put it on your salad, or heat it up. That's what you can do. So that is my spaghetti sauce, this time with chicken, but it could be with turkey or Italian sausage or even ground beef. Hope you enjoy it.